So with it being less than a week till Steve Tandy takes the helm as head coach of Wales on the 1st of September, which weirdly, as Dragons editor Seb pointed out to me the other day, that's the same day that the consultation starts. So it's a weird thing that they've sort of starting on the same thing. I think the union have kind of tucked him up. It should have been more about him starting his job, but anyway, that's by the by. With that all in mind, then there's the autumn series, literally like a month on from him starting. So I was kind of looking at the fixtures and thinking, what is going to constitute success in those group of games? So looking at the teams that we're going to be facing, the All Blacks and the Boks, we're not in that category of team at the moment. Keeping that to a respectable less than 20 or 30 point loss, I think, as negative as that sounds, will be probably a successful game. We've got hammered by South Africa multiple times in recent years, and I think making that gap smaller could be constituted as success. Japan then, obviously we should be expecting to win that game. I think if the 2-match series in the summer was over here in Wales, I think we would have won both of them because the elements played such a big part. So I think we should be expecting to relatively comfortably win those games and get a little bit of momentum, hopefully, from that win. Also, the monkey off the back of the long losing streak is finally over, so bit of confidence in the team, hopefully, and they should be expected to go in and beat Japan. And then people have mentioned that the Pumas could be up for the taking. We have seen them come to Cardiff and underperform what their high standards are. And the game, I think it was in the PVAC era, Thomas Williams was man of the match, where he basically run the show and more or less won the game when people were kind of expecting Argentina to come in and win. So we've seen us slip up in the past, given the fact that they're currently on a real upward trajectory. Beat the Lions not long ago, so I think it's going to be a tough task. I don't see us getting really anywhere near winning that game either, unfortunately. What we do need to see, though, is Tandy's going to come in and he's going to have to put in his brand of rugby. Defensively, we hope to see an improvement because it hasn't been good defensively, and he's obviously a defensive coach, so you want to see that first and foremost. If we go out and leak a bucket load, we're going to be thinking, geez, we've got a defensive coach and we still can't stop taking big points. But what I'm more interested in actually is how he's going to set up the attack, because we've not been threatening for a long time. Sherritt did throw some stuff in there which helped, but we've not really looked like we can break teams down. We can't really keep the ball. The set piece is not great, and we don't have these massive ball carriers that some teams do. So how is he going to get a work around that? Because that's not going to change. It doesn't matter who he calls into the squad, really. There's no really people out there that he can bring in and just say, that's going to really increase our size overall. So that's something to look out for. So basically, one win I would be willing to accept, and an improved performance, an improved display, and actually have a bit of an identity. I think that's what we need to see from Tandy. And I think people will be willing to accept that as fans and give him a bit of time going forward then into the Six Nations. What I do think will be interesting, though, is given the consultation is going to be starting around the same time, we will hopefully have some news as to what the actual plan is going to be going forward. And it's almost certainly going to look like some teams or all teams getting cut, and how people are going to react from that. A lot of what I've read online is quite negative. So if they do axe two teams, are those teams' supporters going to decide, I'm going to just do a bit of an embargo and not come and watch the national side? Whether people are willing to pay the prices that they're asking, just sort of kind of vote with their feet if they're unhappy with the decision the WRU made and make going forward, and then will that then carry on into the regions? I don't know. Will we see the opposite, where people think, I'm going to show my support for my region by going to more games this year? I'm not too sure. It's going to be an interesting one. I think there's going to be a very us against them mentality when it comes to regional fans in the union, and it's going to be difficult for Steve Tandy to navigate that. And what I really hope is, and what's something the union haven't done in the past, in recent past is when there's been like trouble and stuff, they've left the head coach out there to sort of field questions, and I think it needs one of the top dogs. Hopefully Dave Redding will be there to do this now. When there's a more of a non-rugby question about like the administration, about what they're going to be doing, then he can step in and say, Steve's just here to talk about the rugby, I'll take this question, and take the pressure off Tandy, because he's got a massive job getting this team into a place where we can hopefully start winning games at some point, and he doesn't need to be dealing with all this political stuff. He just needs to focus on getting his coaching staff, getting his squad right, and getting the training going. And I just hope they've done that, because they left Gatland out to dry once or twice, and they did the same for Sherratt as well. So hopefully they don't do that this time. And I would like to know what you guys think constitutes success in the autumn. And will you not watch the games if your team gets cut or whatever? Let me know in the comments, and I will catch you on the next one.